Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So, the day that many have been waiting for is closer and basically here. I don't know how long things are going to take, but I've gone ahead and made the decision to go ahead and move forward and try to get that journey going of being an FM here in Farmers Only Club. So this is field 35, as you can see. We've got, various areas. I see. Is it drawing out differently? Because I'm like, it said there's field here, but no, okay. So maybe in the map it was, but now it's clear. I was a little confused with what I had down there, but I thought maybe they had plowed under or something. But the plan is going to be start here. There's a field across the street, kind of through those trees, which is field 36 that Lamerick has said he's willing to sell me. I don't know if, how quickly I'm going to pull the trigger on that, because in the beginning, I'm not going to be able to really be affording any equipment. I'm going to be leasing equipment, but this is a 26.1 acre field, as you can see, so it's not huge. Certainly reasonable, and more importantly, it's got some areas on this side and on the other side where I can place some things, and that should be pretty good, but I don't know that I'll be placing much in the beginning. I think I might put a tiny pallet store up, because that way I can keep seeds and fertilizer and stuff off the map and just keep things a little bit organized. But I don't even know how long it's going to take me to get equipment, because doing the little bit of research that I needed, there are definitely some challenges. So even the small subsoiler, for example, if I wanted to use that as a plow, the Lizard 6-meter subsoiler that I think we all use, or have all used for starting farming or basic farming, that was a mod, that requires here 360 horsepower within FOC, where it's significantly lower in the general mod. So that basically takes you out of the medium tractor possibility if you're using a plow of any sort. Now, what I can do is just seed directly. I know some of the folks here are plowing all the time, but I'm not sure that we need to do that. If I do a direct seeder or direct planter, I think I'd be okay. But right now, again, I won't be able to afford that. But first, I need to get put on here as an FM. Alright, so here we are, and server 4 is the one I want to apply for, but the way we do it here in FOC is using this command, I believe. So user apply FM server 4. We will see the application did not respond. So I guess I'm going to have to go ahead and figure out where I do this, because I thought it would be in the bot stuff, but maybe not. Okay, so when I look at the server screen, they have 2 digits like that. Let me see if this changes. No, it does not. So at this point, I've submitted something through ModMail to try to get an answer of what I'm doing wrong, and once I know, we'll be back here and try to proceed forward. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright, I am back here once again for comparison and contrasting. I posted a ticket about, I don't even know that it was an hour ago. I think it was less time than that, because you can see up above, I guess it was an hour, when the last time I tried to issue this command and it told me the application was not responding. I got a response literally in a minute saying that the bot that processes applications is down. They're working to restore it. And I got a note that I didn't see until a while ago, but I think it was 15 minutes or something. So yes, it was at 9:06 a.m. So basically I submitted the ticket at 8:41, was told at 8:42 that it was down and they were working to restore it, and at 9:06 I was told it's back. So I'm here now because I think this is going to be a key piece that people want to understand how it works. I have no idea what I'm going to see, but let's go. Alright, so ticket for the application is opened, and then I assume what that probably is going to mean is then over here in FOC mod mail, they're probably going to communicate with me there, because I don't think there's anything they can do to further automate. Like, I think someone has to meet with me on the server like before and get me on there, find out which field I want, and so forth. So as I get next steps, I'll just keep adding this together, and eventually we'll cobble together a video here where you can see what the application looks like, and I can share that journey so that you understand, if you decide to go this way, what you can expect. So I'll see you in a bit. As promised, I wanted to give you the overview of how becoming an FM in Farmers Only Club actually functions. Actually going through it, I was quite impressed. So as you can see, after 3 attempts, thinking, oh, I had put the server number in wrong or whatever, and then submitting the ticket, that was responded to and solved in about 15 minutes, which is impressive in and of itself. I then was able to finally get in a little while later, so it didn't take from 8:39 to 9:40 to get things working. I just couldn't do it before then. And then you can see that there's a ticket for the FM application opened, and then what I didn't understand, because I'm certainly not a Discord expert, is that this was a channel. And so when I asked the question in a different section of, am I going to get notified, they said, well, scroll down and go to the channel. And lo and behold, here under FM apps, you can see the channel. So, and that all just automatically happens because of the bot. So as you can see, it talks about a staff member will be here, and it happened immediately. Obviously, it was 9:40 on the one. 7 minutes later, they were pinging me, asking me what parcel I wanted, and then you can start to see they're working through things. Now, we then ended up chatting about a few things, so this took longer, just because he was typing things back and forth, and you can see he asked after he verified this, he was asking, do I have friends there? Because there's another hobo server that has more free land available, and just making sure I understood there were only 2 parcels, but let him know they were willing to sell some land, and so he'll get me set up. So he checked my balance, so that was the balance right at that time. You know, I've got things outstanding that I've done work for, and obviously I'll keep working. And then, you know, he grabbed some server info, and then they issue their own command here. You know, I assume there's some security around that or whatever, but the farm is created. What I didn't understand, so at this point I asked the question of, do I have to get on to get FM rights set up? You know, letting them know that I had a meeting coming up, and they said, no, that's all via Discord command. Simply when you log into your farm, you'll be good to go. I was just really amazed. So they go ahead and do some other things. So I was added to the FM list, and then I forgot I get that 375,000 as starter cash boost. So that basically brings me up to almost 1.8 million at that point, which was nice. And then he just made a bit of a mistake in that he gave me additional money for the land instead of taking it away, and so he had to resolve that here. So he took it away, the amount he put in, and then obviously took away what was from the field. So I didn't really have a balance of 2.7 million. That's when he realized he had made a little bit of a mistake. And so this was the info as we had seen on the screen within the server when we were looking at the field, is it's 41.32 acres, and it's there. So, and then we continue to have a little bit of a chat, but basically at this point, even with chatting, I was kind of on at this point from 9:47 to 9:55. So the process is super fast, super smooth. And if I wasn't bugging him, he'd probably be done in 5 minutes or less. I mean, because obviously he was explaining things and responding to my amazement and so forth. I'm going to jump into the server now to kind of see what happens and what occurs with me becoming a new FM. Alright, so here we are, and there you can see it's owned by Misty Hills. It's not owned by some random character anymore, so clearly the field is mine. Now I just need to see, because I'm in here, so I need to leave the farm, because I need to join my farm. Oh, I am so excited. Because I love orange. I didn't tell them that, but oh, that is awesome. I'm the orange farm, so that's even better. Okay, well, now it's owned by you, right? And typically, so there you go. Dismiss as farm manager, so I could leave, and if I leave my farm, now I would cause that problem. But this all works, so really, really cool. I can't even express how impressed I was with how that worked, and the fact that there's no coordination to try to figure out, hey, can we get you on the server and can we do whatever? Like, they literally issue Discord commands, and then whenever I am able to get in, if it's hours, minutes, hours, days, years would be a little bit much, but I suppose weeks later, then we're here. So there we are. A little splotch of orange amidst all this. So, we'll have to see if and when I want to expand a little bit here, but I am an FM in Farmers Only Club. So that is very, very exciting. So part of what I was deciding, well, I'll just go ahead and do it, is this. First off, once I saw what I needed to do, I realized if I really wanted to wait, which was what I was hoping I could do, to where I was like ready to go, I'd be a farmhand for probably a couple more months. So I kind of decided, you know what, I can do this with leasing, because I can move money in and out and so forth, and we can go from there. So I'm not in a rush to get field 36, as long as he doesn't suddenly say, well, if you don't buy it, I'm gonna sell it. I mean, I'm guessing he'll just hold on to it and do what he's doing with it, but then we'll be good to go. I am thinking, this location is still going to be one of my best options. I just don't like the fact that it's not entirely flat. So I'm thinking as I place things, I might need to flatten or smooth at least. I don't know. This is going to be a challenge, that's for sure. But there's a good amount of room here. So, and right now, I'm not going to use a lot of money to do much of anything because I won't have equipment. So I think I mentioned before I applied what my thought was, is maybe just to place one of the little bale stores or pallet stores, so that as I buy seed and fertilizer in the next few months, I'll place those when I'm ready to go. That might be, what I'd look at doing. I'm just so excited. It's my field. The real question will end up being, do I want it there? I probably should put stuff like that over here on this side, where I have some room, because again, I determined as I was running around, by the road I don't want to do, because that's a very big slope. The nice thing here is, it's not fertilized, but this field looks limed, it looks plowed, so as long as I use equipment and planters that don't require me to plow, I think I'll be okay. But, you know, this area looks like it's been flattened. So that's kind of the challenge is, you know, this may actually be what I want to do, you know, because there's a good amount, you know, really up until the tree line is my property. So I'm just not sure, you know, the way we always used to test this is, see, like I think I'm right there now. So this is about where I can go, you know, and that store is really tiny, so it's like I could, you know, put it here on the grass and I'd still be well within the border, because you can see I'm basically here. And again, what I don't know is, like, is the circle where we're really at? Because if it is, then I've got plenty of room to put things in. Because what I don't want to do is take valuable real estate, but I also don't want to make it super challenging to work my field. This is really weird how they're kind of that way, but again, if the, you know, when the map is created, it just may have made things a little less nice as far as edges and so forth. Maybe one of these days, if I've got nothing to do, I'll do something else, but right now, because I'm going to try to avoid plowing, because that's things that I don't need to do at this point, this is kind of all I can. If we go in here, you know, we're in January, February literally is nothing, you know, which was kind of the plan, because I thought, well, if I need to plow, I can do that in the winter right now, and then I don't have to worry about it. So it's the same thing, like if I decide, because I wasn't planning, I had forgotten about that extra $375,000, because that would give me enough to lease things and do pretty well. Like if I decide to see, hey, can you sell me field 36 and just go with it right away, might be possible. I'll have to take a look. We're just looking at most things get planted. I was debating doing something like sunflowers maybe, so I may do that, because at this point, while I'm leasing things, the benefit I'll have is I can try a few different pieces of equipment, because there's definitely, as I think I said, a difference in how things work as far as horsepower and whatever. Ooh, I'm getting a bit of lag here as I run. I'm trying to get across the field to 36 is what I'm trying to do here, but for some reason it doesn't like me moving here, and it looks like, again, like someone had cleared stuff at this end, but you know, he's just got little piles laying around, but he said he would be ready to sell right away, and so I could definitely get going with a broader farm, because the benefit obviously of having another field, and this is certainly a bigger field, because if we go over here, we're talking again about 36 acres with land area of 53. We're talking about 62 acres, which is certainly a healthy start. But in that case, like, I don't necessarily need to plow it because it has grass, because once again, if I'm just ready to plant, but I'll have to see, maybe I'll chat with him tonight and see what options we have. And then, given how fast everything else has happened here, because typically I'd be thinking, like, it's 2 months away, it's 2 days away, there's no way I'm going to have the land. And again, I don't have to get it in March, I could get it in April and May and still make it productive this year if I wanted to make that investment and go. Is this like a really sharp hill here? I guess that's just part of the map. I thought maybe someone terraformed it poorly, because this definitely looks like it was a field expansion, like they left the plow on a little too long and then turned it off. I've done stuff like that. I think we've all done stuff like that. Alright, so a few things that had to get done. So it happened to be that Lomeric was on and I was able to voice chat with them. So the good thing was, yes, he needed to grant me rights to continue to work on his farm now that I'm an FM, because I lost the ability to do that. That didn't stay together. And now I can't jump back to my field because I can't jump into anybody's equipment. So until I place something that I can jump to, or have a piece of equipment that I can utilize, can't really get there. So you know where the field is, so I can't get over there easily at this point. But the other things we discussed was, because you can lease equipment to each other, so basically he felt it was probably fair that if it was about half the cost of what I could get from the store, so it would save me some money to lease from him. The challenge is obviously he's got pretty big equipment, so if I'm leasing it from him, it may still cost me more if I do that, so I'll have to kind of weigh the pros and cons of that and then figure out. And then I did determine the reason he plows is so that he doesn't have to spray for weeds later. So that's the trade-off, is instead of spraying for weeds, he plows. So that makes a little bit of sense, and that's something I'll have to look at, but initially I can't do that. But then on sunflowers, which is what I thought I was going to plant, you have to plow, which then requires me to plow, so I may end up doing a grain crop or something just to keep it simple. And then on purchasing field 36, the field has to get appraised, and then whatever they say it's appraised at, it's usually a little bit less than what it's listed for. So he said kind of budget for 90%, but that's a $1.14 million field, so it's still probably going to be over $1 million, and I don't quite have enough to do that right now, but he's looking to get some things out of the silos and so forth over there, so it would be a little bit anyway. So I may just start out working 35 for a bit and then figure out what makes sense. So that gets you going, but a short little episode about becoming an FM here, and the journey begins. Trying to balance all of that, make the money, and figure out what I'm going to do. And I will see you next time.